Hello, hello, and welcome to the, I'm here with the Dapper Dudes, and we're here on the Black and Orange Tarot and Astrology channel. Thank you for being here. I'm here every single day of the year, and I have been for more than 5 years. So other than 2 emergencies, every single day. Weekday, weekend, holiday, your birthday, my birthday. I am here to take your political questions or questions about society. Just put them in the chat before I come on. We have epic troll slayers who keep us safe. Thank you. Thank you. And we have got, because of that's allowed us to build this fantastic community where people have been so kind to each other, so kind to me. Thank you. All right. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box. All the questions are listed there. I timestamp them as I go, so you can pick and choose what you're interested in, or you can watch back on like 1.25 speed or whatever works for you. So, all right, I'm just making sure I can see the questions properly. Had a little bit of a YouTube glitch earlier on the Stay Calm live stream right before this one. None of the comments were working, and the whole thing was very strange, but here we are. And I can see your comments here. So good. All right. So we are going to start with, we're going to actually start with a prayer, a little requested prayer. Angie on Feisty Butterfly Tarot. This is a lovely woman, lovely woman. And her sister needs some prayers. I want to say she's in the hospital. But if you have any good energy, kind thoughts or prayers to send to Angie's sister, please do. Also, I just want to take just a second or two. Let us send some prayers to Violetta, who just gut-wrenchingly lost her son. So Violetta, let's just send her family. Let's pray for her and her family. Bless. Oh, okay. All right. So, okay. So let's jump in. And I guess I don't know if this is going to be, I grab this fabric napkin that's sitting here. I don't think it's going to be enough to really muffle the noise very much of the cards, but we're going to try. All right. So, oh yeah, there's all kinds of craziness going on in the news. I mean, it's crazy. Hello, Boo Boo. How you doing? How are you, sweetness? And he's passing through. Okay. Grab the old cards. And let's go through your questions. Lewis says, I had the tie on the right in the 80s. This one? Oh, yeah. All right, so we are going to start with, at 4 minutes, 30 seconds in, Elizabeth Maines had a question, and Sarah helped me this morning. Thank you, Sarah, with the questions, and she's having a good time coming up with nicknames for our current president. I particularly like this one, Pumpkin Pinhead. I mean, I don't know, Elizabeth, I don't know if you put that in there or if Sarah did, but I love it either way. But Elizabeth said, Pumpkin Pinhead is posting about the tragic plane crash. Oh, ooh, in a way that shows he's trying to find someone to blame. Oh, day ending in day. He forgets that on his second day in office, he, 1, fired the head of the Transportation Security Administration, 2, fired the entire Aviation Security Advisory Committee, 3, froze the hiring of all air traffic controllers, and 4, fired 100 top FAA security officers. Yeah. Yes, Laura R. And blaming DEI, I'm certain. Will the Tangerine Toddler face backlash for blaming the helicopter pilot and, quote, the DEI unintelligent air traffic controllers, unquote, for last night's horrific accident? DEA, that's a quote, the DEA unintelligent air traffic controllers. Okay. Please, it's not a big thing, but those of you who've been around for a while, you know that I was married for about 20 years. I'm no longer. Been single for about 5, but just over 5, yeah. But I was married to a commercial pilot, and we started out with him in flight school. Like, we got married, we went to Phoenix, we drove to Phoenix, and he started flight school. And went through the whole, if anybody says, if you know any commercial pilots, you know, it's high drama, it's expensive, and then to get the qualifications, and you have to get so many flight hours, and you teach for a while to build up flight hours, and all of this, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And then it took a long time, but he made it all the way up to one of the major carriers, where I believe he's still working. And he's a good pilot. I will say that. I know what kind of training pilots get into. And so over the years, I worked at the front desk at a flight school. I worked the desk at an FBO, which is where the private planes come in and out. I was on the edge of aviation for a long time. Edge. Not saying I've taken a couple of lessons, but I'm not a pilot. I actually have no interest in being a pilot, but aviation is a thing I have some awareness of. I've also been lucky enough to be in a tower. I got a tour of the local tower, and various of the air traffic controllers, you end up running into them, talking to them, knowing who the closest, like the head person there, learning a little bit how it's done. Excuse me. And what have you. They have an incredibly stressful job. People's lives are literally on the line. It's very fluid. Everything changing really, really fast because these planes are going really, really fast. And if you've ever tried to land an aircraft, you know that when you come into land, everything happens really fast. So, saying that they are DEI unintelligent air traffic controllers, get stuffed. I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you how much training, how much, literally everything they do. The like head traffic controller literally spends time listening to the tapes. Every one of the tapes, everything that every single one of the air traffic controllers said, the conversations they had with the aircraft. I mean, there is detailed, really intense focus. Unbelievable. And this guy with 6 bankruptcies, 34 felony convictions, adjudicated R word, who cheats at golf, wants to tell air traffic control. He wants to say they're unintelligent and they're DEI hires, and get stuffed. So anyway, that's a lot, but I just wanted to share that with you. Bert O'Malley says, this administration's not for all Americans, just the white-only ones. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kelly, and an airline he bankrupted. Yes, let's not forget that. Thank you for reminding me. Warrior Witch says he's projecting he's a failure, and he knows it. Yeah. Wow. And I don't know what went wrong, but my understanding is while there can be accidents, there have definitely been accidents over the years. It's not like anyone in this situation, the pilot of the helicopter, the pilot of the plane, or the air traffic controller, it's not like any of them are sitting around staring out the window like, yeah, whatever. Oh. This is just heartbreaking. Okay. King of Swords. There are insane amounts of regulations around aviation. Insane. How Boeing got away for as long as it did with putting inferior bolts on one piece of some of their planes, that's bizarre, because the amount of regulation, the amount of oversight, there was a when I worked at the FBO, there was maintenance. There was a maintenance department. There were aviation mechanics who are extremely highly trained, and every single thing they use has to be approved by the FAA. Every bolt, every piece, everything. That's why it's more expensive than going down to your local hardware store. This is all that regulation. Yeah, this is just heartbreaking. Mostly what's here is just the pain of what happened. And this, yeah, the first two and the last card there, that's all emotional. That's all pain. These poor people. This is the crash. This corruption in the middle. Is this, I just want to see if is it leaning more toward error or human error or mechanical difficulties? And the thing is that it could be more than one thing. As my father always said, if there's like a car crash, or if something goes horribly, horribly wrong, it isn't one thing going wrong. It's a number of things going wrong in rapid succession. So, jeez, you just touch on this energy and it just rips your Heart out. Lori is saying that the Black Hawk had no black box on board. I didn't even think that was a thing. How would you get it out? Kelly says, the sad fact is I don't trust the information coming out to be factual. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Sherry, yes. No, we all have to keep our hands and feet inside the ride at all times. Roller coaster dumpster ride. Yeah. And that's true, Lisa. We currently do not have an FAA administrator because he clashed with Elon Musk and was forced out. Yeah. Yep. I know I've been talking way too much about this, but I did mention all that stuff at the beginning. So basically, all right, that can be some confusion. People going about their business on the defensive. Something unfinished. Someone walked away with something unfinished. So he's politicizing it. Okay, for what it's worth, I'm not getting major arcana here. I'm not getting that this was some kind of conspiracy, that this was set up, or that there's some bigger plan here. Laura says it wasn't a standard Black Hawk, according to a lieutenant. So, will we find out what happened? And will the pumpkin Pinhead have egg on his face? Passing judgment before we have the facts. There's the incompetent man. Disappointment. He doesn't know. People are still sad, and he's running his mouth. It's not a good look. Yeah. How you doing, sweetheart? How's the Bailey Boo? All right. Well. Okay. So at 18 minutes in, Shannon Arthur had a question. The press conference regarding the plane and helicopter crash at DCA had the newly confirmed DOT secretary, but there was no SecDef. Hegseth. Where was he? I just want to ask in general, is it possible, entertainment only YouTube, but is it possible that Hegseth is, let's just say, not always going to be where he should be because something about drinking like a fish. Lewis is at the local bar, no doubt. Isabel Moss says he's at happy hour. Laura R. suggests under the table. Yeah. When you say, when people are at your confirmation are bringing up all these times that you have had an alcohol problem, and your response is, well, if I get this job, I'm going to stop drinking. He says, Lewis, I agree. We all benefit from a boo-boo drive-by. Yes. Ooh, somebody's going to get themselves into trouble. Who? entertainment only YouTube. Hang on, I better pull up media. I better pull up a media asset. Yes, we need to pull this up because wow. All right, he got that job because he's in the cult. Okay. All right, there's the cult. Taking action. He's a lot of talk. But is he usually MAGA leaders are kings of wands, like Dumpy himself, like the felon himself. But if they're not that, then they're kings of pentacles, which are Republicans. So what is he? He's a king of cups. Usually cups mean Democrats, but no. This is slightly more literal. He's coming up as the king of cups. So how's this going to work for him? How's this going to turn out? I'm not saying this is literal, but there's a death card in the middle. There is the Emperor, and there is the Nine of Cups over here. This does not bode well for his relationship to the would-be Emperor. Yeah. Yeah. This is not going to go well for him. And I agree, Cynthia. He might want to consider AA. Oh boy. Kelly says, well, that didn't take long. Girl says a lot of cups, binging. Yeah, and I just cut the deck. Yeah, he just keeps coming up a day late, a dollar short. Just, yeah, this is not going to go well. Now, at 22:30, then the question is, will Hegseth leave the U.S.? Is he putting us in danger? I mean, these people have this job for a reason, because the job is necessary. How could anyone? How can anyone with and look, alcoholism is a real thing. I'm not saying anybody. I'm not saying, oh, it's a moral failing. No, but addiction is addiction, and you have to deal with it. If you have a broken leg, you have to deal with it. He has a broken something, and he has to deal with it. And if he's not dealing with it, then he's not only, it's possible he won't be where he needs to be when he needs to be there. He won't make the right decisions, but there's a real chance that you can become compromised. There's a reason that that addictions aren't really, they're frowned upon when you're trying to get security clearance. But Fruits of Labor, he's in with the Republicans. So they were willing to, don't ask me why, willing to say, oh, all right. Yeah, like a charity, giving someone the Secretary of Defense job is charity. They gave him that's a big amount of power. And again, I've got Or rather, I've got the devil right in the middle. Addiction. But there's Trump's dynasty, far-right communication. It's bad. Luckily, I mean, I get that it's going to be a problem. Even in the first reading I just did a minute ago, I got that this is going to go badly for him and his relationship to the felon. But unbelievable. Oh, excellent. Amy Albert says Hegseth is not going to last. Hold on, says I have 3 alcoholic brothers. One beat it and is a highly successful executive now. Excellent. Excellent. Oh, Ricky has, and the star of the show, soon to play in a stage about his life, the one and only Boo Boo and Kitty. Thank you. Christine says that is a lot of money and resources to mismanage. Yes. And he's going to be pushing his ideas. Yeah, his position with the dynasty, the administration, the whatever, it's going to get weaker. He's going to get weaker as he sinks into this. All right. Well, let's hope he unravels quickly. I hate to say that, because maybe that will get him out before irreparable damage is done. Okay. At 27:30, Cosmic Goat Lady had a question. By the way, thank you for being here. Thank you. 27:30. The felon signed an executive order that overhauls race relation education in the schools, as well as LGBTQ policies. Will someone block this? I want to say, I believe I've got the actual quote. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. Brian Tyler Cohen shared earlier that Trump just issued an executive order defunding public schools that accommodate transgender students. Teachers will be banned from referring to a transgender student by their desired name or pronouns. If they do not comply, their budgets can be defunded. Okay. Just okay. Lisa Fortifor says states have laws in place to stop this. Well, I'm a card short, so I think there is some strength there, but well, you know, he's got a few things. The felon has a few things short as well, and is like a couple of sandwiches short of a picnic, a couple of yeah. Yes, don't try to make anybody comfortable, any of the students comfortable, or feed them or anything, so that they can actually learn and we can build a better society that's more inclusive. Nah. Yeah, he's on a tear. It's been it's been a week and a half. Yeah, 9 days. Yeah. He's on a tear. There's a thief card. There's just strewing red meat to his extremist. Well, he has his own extremist beliefs. Trying to put huge laws into play, and this feels pretty monolithic. But I pulled, and this was it, and I had a card missing. So, but it looks like eventually, because I pulled one more card to finish it out, and it's the strength card. So there will be big pushback against some of this stuff, or passive aggressive pushback, or there are teachers who, by the way, don't make enough money, are unappreciated. Many who are not appreciated, who spend their own money for school supplies. Hello, dear. What was that? He climbed up, came across here, and then jumped down again. What's that? And they're there. They're in the classroom. They know what it takes to get their students in their classroom to create the best possible community in that classroom. They know what they're doing. Obviously, there are some jerks. We've all had bad teachers, but we've also all had good teachers at some point or another. So, Bert O'Malley, how many boo-boos and kitties are there? The wonderful thing about boo-boos and kitties is he's the only one. Yes, he is the only one. Joyce Matthews is not only for school supplies, but for food. Been there, done that. Oh. Jana says the cat intercepts the bad energy. Swat that, kitty. Yes. Spiritual Hacks says the order calls for the elimination of federal funds for, quote, for illegal and discriminatory treatment and indoctrination in K-12 schools, including based on gender ideology and discriminatory equity ideology. DEI. Thank you, Spiritual Hacks. Yes, Squeaker Bunny, I am right here. Ms. Gibson, how old is he? Trump? About 1 million years old, based on his beliefs. And perhaps, although they say that early humans were actually quite smart. Yeah, I'd say knuckle dragging. Yeah, equal to the knuckle draggers. I know you meant him, but yeah. Allison Jacob says he made an exclamation point with his tail when you spoke about teachers. Oh, there we go. So, oh, bless. Thank you. Yes, Christine, 78 going on 2. Hi. He's like, why are we doing this? Why don't we have better energy here? This is all minor arcana. He's actually, that's what he thinks about these cards and this energy. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. This is just his gross, Trump's grossness. This is, how old is Boo-Boos and Kitty? I should know that off the top of my head, but I don't. He's in his teens. But yeah, he's in his early teens. So anyway, it's just disgusting. All right. Okay, if you need a moment, let me just have a quick look. Is it here? Okay, so it isn't. All right, so we're going to take a moment because this next one is a flame-inducing question. So I just wanted to mention this, that it's not actually 35. Let's just write it down. I don't know if it's worth reading on, but 3530. Apparently, okay, there's a rumor. Sarah and I Sarah looked, she was kind enough to look. She couldn't find anything official, so this might just be a rumor. But let me just put Canada here for right now. But the rumor going around is that I believe when the felon took over, that Canada had stopped immigration from the U.S. For X amount of months while they tried to just deal with the backlog and the problems. Hello, sweetheart. But the rumor is that if you are a U.S. citizen, the rumor is that you can actually apply for asylum in Canada. However, and again, this is all rumor, but only if you can prove a history, be it on social media or video or whatever, of criticizing basically Donald Trump. I don't want to leave the country, but if that were true, guess who qualifies? Sorry, I just saw something. A person said, Boobers and Kitty says he needs food. This cat has more food of more different types. He's good, sweetie. But don't eat flora. Don't eat the plant. Quit it. No eating at the plant. Yes, you. Sorry, they said that very sharply. I apologize. No. Yeah, there you go. You can relax. Just don't eat the plant. Goofus. So, Revolution Ricky says, oh boy, then I would live in Canada forever. Julie Hoffman says, Canada, here I come. Yeah. Oh, big yarn. Oh, cards went flying. Oh, please. Okay. You're fine. Okay. Whew. Joyce Matthews says, Boobers and Kitty wants for nothing, only cuddles. And I make certain of it. Okay. You don't need to dig. We'll just cover you up here. Get some rest. Here, relax. Relax. He's very tired. Boy, you are not going to settle, are you? I'm just getting, if you're an American, if you're from the US, you want to go to Canada for a long time or permanently, just go through legal channels. That's all I've got here. There's nothing specific, but no, I've got, what is today? How many? It says in the description box, by the way, what video this is on my channel, and I know we're over 2,000. We're over 2,500 videos, aren't we? Isn't that this one? Hang on, let me look. If this is number 2,257, I take it back. I haven't hit 2,500 videos yet, but yeah, there are 2,257 videos on this channel. And none of them are pro-authoritarianism, let's put it that way. So anyway, 39:45. Yeah, but I'm not going anywhere. So 39. Make it 30 and 50. Okay. Now, I will. Okay. So the felon ordered the Pentagon and the DHS to collaborate on plans to build a new migrant detention center that holds 30,000 people at Guantanamo Bay. Cuba has rebuked this and said, no, claiming that the existing facility there is illegally occupied. So what's going to happen? Also, he just likes, the felon likes to say the words Guantanamo Bay because he thinks it's tough. Pipe dream. Man. Well, what the cards are saying is, oh, we'll hear more about this or something related to this. There's the inept felon. A lot of people. Detaining a lot of people. Not in a smart way. But this is aggressive action. And he's not done. This jerk, he's just going to keep being awful. And by the way, seriously undermining our economy. Yeah, seriously undermining our economy. But go ahead, MAGA. Tell us how. That no way you could vote for a woman of color after Biden created all of those jobs. Well, no. The economy is always better under Republican. Really? Congratulations. You drank the Kool-Aid. You have drunk the Kool-Aid. Yes, you have. Well done. That is completely factless. Complete factless. That's PR. That is not reality. So just 3 more cards. Just want to see. Oh, good. More stuff that he's doing is going to come out later. We're not hearing all of it now, but right now you have the cults. That's a card for the reading. And they want the what? Everyone who's not white and male to get theirs. There's the jerk himself, the felon himself, and then I've got the devil and the high priestess. So this is utter corruption and awfulness and cruelty, and in secret. It'll come out. Great. Anyway. Yes, TJ, they want to see damage. Yep. So anyway, I have a question here about Karoline Leavitt. And I assumed it was Leavitt, but no, apparently it is Leavitt. Karoline with a K, Leavitt. There's a question about what she said yesterday, but I actually, at 44:40, I actually want to read on her to see what's going to happen there. Oh boy. If you have not had the experience of actually going and listening to Karoline with a K, Leavitt, first of all you have to do is picture basically any woman on Fox News. So exact, just that straight blonde hair and the with the, yep. Anyway, the other thing about her, she is the youngest press secretary ever. She's 27, I believe. Yes. And she is married to a man who is 60 years old. Yeah, 28. Thank you, Laura. 28 years old. Her husband is 60. And she went out there and she is angry. She's just combative, angry. Yeah, it's like listening to an anchor on OAN. Or is OAN still there? Which of the two awful Fox clones are still on the air? American News Network, or whatever, one of those. You okay? He's like, no. He's like, I want a nap, and I want a lap to sit on, for cuddles. Well, she got her bag. Just Newsmax. Thank you, Christine. Sugar daddy issues. Just having a quick look. Oh yes, not to mention the big cross she was wearing. Yeah. Yes, Beth A. Isn't she supposed to be home barefoot and pregnant? Yes. I thought that was their ideal. It's okay. TJ says misdirecting her anger, perhaps. Giovanna says, why are they so full of anger? Because it's a lot easier to blame swaths of people than come up with something constructive. It's kind of like when TikTok went down for 12 hours or 14 hours or however long that was, apparently people in other countries who were still on it, because it was only the US, apparently it opened up a whole world, just communities from all over. So people who were still on it in other countries were suddenly seeing content from around the world, from wildly different perspectives, different people's lives. And then when the US came back on TikTok, there were quite a few people who were like, you know what, I didn't realize just how much content was just coming straight from the US. And I want to continue to see a wider view. So now there's something trending on TikTok. It's like hashtag global TikTok or something. And I have heard some people talking about how they want to see a wider, they want to see more viewpoints. They want to see people of different colors from different countries, of different religions and different, and to me, I've got a Sagittarius stellium. So to me, I'm just like, sounds great. What do they have for snacks? I'd love to know what they have for snacks. I always want to know what people are snacking on around the world. It's like, cool, what's that? But when you start thinking along those lines, and things not just being US based. Yeah, I mean, there is a perspective change there where suddenly you as an American are not as important. You're not. And these people are really afraid of meritocracy. Really afraid of meritocracy. Because they can't compete. If you get all of this benefit, unearned benefit, and suddenly there's a real chance you won't be getting the benefit of having ancestors who went far north, that scares them. Whereas you and I are pretty much like, that's the world. We're in the world. We're on this, the big blue marble. So yeah, she's lashing out. Because she's afraid that she's not important, that she wouldn't be important, that people who look like her or snowflakes or anything, there's this anger. And so she's embraced the she goes left or right. She's embraced this conservative viewpoint. And all you have to do is look at the styling that they all look like cookie cutter people. There's a reason for that. It's because it would be the same way if you're like a goth, where you dress a certain way, you like it, but it also makes you a part of a community. Well, she wants to be a part of that community. And she wouldn't see it as pressing down her own sense of self, her own uniqueness. She's getting validation. She's getting validation by being that awful. Sitting pretty. Look, if she's got a conservative 60-year-old husband, you think she's hearing anything even vaguely liberal? Anything? Or do you think that day in and day out, she's hearing the right-wing garbage? Laura R. says she did make a run for Congress. Oh, good grief. Yeah, and I understand this idea of Stepford Wives, but I'm not calling her that because somehow it's women who aren't, it's like they're supposed to be at home. They're supposed to be traditional, but I can work and I can have my own money and I can have my own life and I can do what I want. But they're part of a movement that completely demoralizes and demeans individual women. I don't get it. 2 cards for the end. It's like arguing with somebody who's an Ayn Rand fan. I think we've all known somebody who read the Ayn Rand books and just, when they were in college or what, but they just were like, yeah, this works. And they, for maybe a time or whatever, maybe they just embraced that idea until, I don't know, their brains developed. Hello, dear heart. That's her. It's foolish. And but she's also just the press secretary. So we can ignore a lot of what she says. Anyway. Tishy J says 28. She's still got a lot of growing up to do. Oh, yeah. Okay. Lori says she is an adult. Oh, yeah, she is. On paper. All right, 55 minutes in. So the actual question here was, yesterday afternoon, Karoline with the K. Leavitt, White House press secretary, announced that the, quote, funding freeze, unquote, was still in play even after the executive order was rescinded. Court is still scheduled for Monday. Hello, sweetheart. You're a good boy. Yes, you are. So what's going to happen Monday? Because the next question is more information about how this executive order happened. Because let's just say it didn't go through any channels. Oh, gross. Well, the executive order, I guess it's been rescinded. How can it's been rescinded? How can it still be going to court? I don't understand this. I'm confused by this. The facts are not facting. There's a legal decision, but it's not a judge. And then they just try to do it another way. This feels very confused. There's a don't eat Flora. Don't do it. Don't eat Flora. I don't. Bullying, cruelty, causing as much disruption and sadness as possible. This is one of the many things they will do to try to leave people in dire straits. But this particular thing is not going to go well for them, but they're going to try other stuff. I don't get it. But, and again, I have, I don't know, empathy, conscience, decency. Funny that. Now, this is a piece of information you might want to have. Sources at the White House agree that the memo causes turmoil was poorly written, and note that it did not go through the proper channels before being released. Raw Story reports that it was either authorized by Muskie, Elon Muskie, or Russell Vought from the Heritage Foundation, and wasn't even looked at by Nazi Ferratu himself, Stephen Miller, before publication. Basically, either Elon Muskie or Russell Vought wrote this thing, showed it to the felon, and it was like, yeah, do that. You didn't even run it past Nazi Ferratu, huh? Will this cause infighting in the Oval? Yeah. Laura R says Vought is dangerous. Well, they kind of are. All right. Actually, it feels like we can kind of ignore their infighting. I mean, as long as we stand together. As long as we stand together. Yeah. I did want to make certain that any questions I don't get to today, I will roll over to tomorrow. But there's one international question I wanted to make sure I got to today. What could go wrong Nothing about this has ever gone wrong in the past. Okay. Angela Merkel retired. All right. Good for her. And we know that she was a big fan of Barack Obama, right? Who isn't? Who decent human being is not a fan? I'm a fan. Anyway, Angela Merkel was head of the CDU, Christian Democratic Union. Okay, fair enough. She retires. Angela Merkel has rebuked her own party over a bombshell deal with the far right. The former chancellor has publicly chastised the leader of her own party, Friedrich Merz, after the CDU, the Christian Democratic Union, for the first time relied on a far-right AfD vote to pass an anti-immigration motion in Parliament. The CDU made a voting pact with the AfD. Is it Alternative for Deutschland? Yeah. The Seek Help Party. You need to seek help. Which, if continued, would give them a supermajority in their parliament. The CDU controls 30%. The AfD controls 21%. So if they decide to form a voting bloc for good, 30 plus 21 is 51% control of the German government. This has never gone wrong before. There are all kinds of protests going on in Germany. Big protests. You can go look. They like giant squares of, open areas just packed with people protesting, chanting, singing. How's this going to work out going forward? Seek help, AfD. Seek help. The movie Swing Kids has a version of Bei mir bist du schön. It is the best version of that song I've ever heard. It's right at the dancing climax series. There's a lot of swing dancing in that movie. Obviously, Swing Kids. But that movie just keeps... And then I'll just be sitting here and this comes up and my brain's starting to play that song. Bei mir bist du schön. Yeah, that one. Again, I'll explain. Knight of Pentacles. In the past, the far-right victory card. It hasn't even been 100 years. Really, it hasn't even been 100 years. Or barely. Eagles. What was the man with the ugliest mustache ever? What was the castle in the mountains? Eagle's Nest? Eagles something? Page of Wands. There's the World card, so you'd think that would be the end of it. But there you have more far-right action like this. Okay, well. Anyway, from here on out, you can hang out, or I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm curious. I'm going to grab a book, an astrology book I have that has the astrology charts of countries, history, that one of thing. I just want to have a quick look at Germany and see if there's a chart there. Give a quick look if it says anything about the rise of the astrology of the rise of ick, them, what have you. But that's not gonna be. It's going to be me flipping through things and just chatting with you. So if you want to head out, I totally understand. But thank you for being here. Do come by. The link will be in the description box for Stay Calm. So about half hour before I start here, do come by. Calming our nervous systems, we really need it. And then we go through the news with friends. And then in about 2 hours, be over on the Creative Sprints channel, just doing. Actually, I'm going to try to record some today. Anyways, but you can just work on your projects, be productive. Yeah. So, and there are only what, a couple of hundred views on the color organization video where I'm giving this away for free. You might want the links in the description. It's a PDF, but the video is over there. Links in the description to the color organization channel. But have a look at this. This can help you. It's how to save money, even little bits at a time, and explains exactly how to make your budget easier. All right. So that's over there, and it is free. Okay. Thank you. For those who are going to head out, just know you're not alone. We're in this together. There are good days ahead, and I will see you later. All right. And anybody else who wants to just hang out for a minute, let me put the cards away and let me get the old book and see what it says. Because I've got 2 books. One, there we go, and this one. All right. I've got 2 books I wanted to look at. One is the Book of World Horoscopes by Nicholas, is it Campion? But this is a great resource. It's just all right there. And then this is a reprint of the 1940 version of Astrology for the Millions by Grant Louis. And it's one of those, I guess, library copies. But anyway, so this originally came out in, this is the 1978 version. Secondhand bookstores for the win. This originally the first edition was 1940. So in the beginning of this, there's a lot in here about when this book, the author says when this book was written before Christmas 1939. So there's a bunch of stuff in here about the rise of the ick. Oh, thank you, Jana. Thank you. I hope it helps. Okay, so this is just about astrology, whatever. We'll get there. And I'm just trying to get to the point that it talks about. There's the man. Okay, Strong Men of Destiny, Chapter 6. Hitler, Mussolini, Stalin, Napoleon, Kaiser Wilhelm. You know, the fun people. Hello, I hope Suzanne. We've gone through the questions, and now we're just hanging out for a bit. So in this, oh, thank you, Maria. Thank you for having a look. I hope it helps. So, all right. In this one, they are talking about Saturn, the way it moves around, and how quite often as Saturn transits up toward the top of your chart, how you can come to prominence. But once it dips below the horizon over here, this, when it's in this quadrant, when Saturn is transiting through this quadrant of your chart, people can become less public. And sometimes things you've been doing are not necessarily working well. Oh, okay. Come on, sweetheart. Take a nap. Please rest. Please rest, sweetheart. Somebody's grumpy. Yeah. But there is a thing here on. Oh, there we go. I'm just going to call him. Let's see. I don't swear on this channel, and I don't want to say his name. Hitter. We'll just call him Hitter. So Hitter made his first speech to the party on February 24th, 1920. Okay, there we go. Thus, starting a series of February and March events which will appear later. Jupiter was in his 10th sector, bringing opportunity. Any astrologer in his right senses would have told the fledgling dictator to cool his heels. For some time yet, on this ill-chosen date, Saturn was on Hitter's ascendant, opposing his sun, a doubly bad influence. But having refused to bide his time willingly, as all must do when Saturn opposes the sun, he was forced to bide his time unwillingly, to say in jail. Now, I have explained before that when he was put in jail, it wasn't quite what we're picturing. It was like a dorm. There were bars on the window, but he and his ilk, they were housed together. They were walking back and forth. It's like the cells were open. There were bars in the window, but other than that, it looked like people living in a dorm. And Hitter had a lot of people come visit him, including some wealthy people. There's a wife of one particularly wealthy industrialist or whatever who bought him a newfangled top-of-the-line typewriter. There are pictures of it in his dorm room, at his desk, and his cushy bed, next to his cushy bed. And that's what he used to write The Biggest Waste of Trees Ever. Yeah, Visualize 70, I like that. Mr. Hurtler. Yeah, Hurtler. I like that. DeBron says, I like this hangout, but I have to go. I understand. GM Dave says he went to summer camp. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Anyway. So, okay. Mars hovered at this time, during all this time, Mars hovered in his fourth house, held to this one spot of obscurity and new starts by retrograde. He formed his final and definitive plan of action and wrote the worst destruction of the waste of trees ever. Let's see here. The pathological wellspring of this work is found in the fact that Mars, Hurtler's self-destructive urge, his fears, his cruelty, his recklessness, was, like the man himself, locked up in his fourth sector. Okay. But he had Neptune, think of the ocean where you get dissolving and illusions and art. But he was deluded because he had Neptune up in his 10th house, which is his status and what have you. So he was deluded by the belief that he was mastering the world through the power of his will. Yeah, right. So on April 10th, 1932, he was defeated for president in the general election. The brown shirts did the dirty work for the man who was holding himself in readiness, but he lost that general election. By the apparent defeat, he did have Jupiter in the 10th paving his way for a victory in future. which did not overtake the strong man of destiny until Saturn got ready for it. Only after Saturn got out of his fourth house, which is at the bottom of the chart, and started to climb up the other side. And then Uranus made its first contact with the Führer's sun, emphasizing at one and the same time his delusional dread of betrayal and his consequential urge. Anyway. So, the expansion, which now begins with the remilitarization of the Rhineland, began precisely as Saturn hit the place of Hitler's sun for the first time. So, okay. And so when was this? Okay, so this is mostly just talking about him. I was kind of hoping it was more about Germany. There's some more about Germany itself. Luckily, I have highlighted, and that's what I'm skimming. Yes, Ashley's song, Year of the Snake, how fitting. Absolutely. Oh, boy. All right, so this might not... Okay, so... Fixed signs, yeah, talking about how awful he is. And... All right, and then it goes on to other stuff. Let's have a look at the Book of World Horoscopes and see what it says about Germany. Because this tends to have multiple charts for countries. Whoops, please don't fall. Just stay there. All right. France. Like there are multiple US charts, but I'm looking for, well, that's the UK. Oh, here we go. Well, there's something here, a little note. The Not C Party owes its earliest origin to the Committee of Independent Workmen, founded by Anton Drexler in Munich on the 7th of March, 1918. On January 5th, 1919, Drexler's group merged with Karl Herrer's Political Workers' Circle to form the German Workers' Party, the DAP. And Hertler attended his first meeting of that on September 12, 1919. He gave his first major speech February 1920, setting out the program that was to become his awfulness. And on April 1st, 1920, the party officially changed its name to the National Socialist German Workers' Party. Great. So that's the thing about the political parties. But let's find Germany. This thing's in alphabetical order. Like for France, you've got Napoleon and the Second Republic and, you know, all kind of stuff. Fourth Republic. Germany. Thank you for hanging out. So, 1814, Prussian Revolution and Unification in the 1800s. The Empire in the 1800s. Revolution in the Weimar Republic. 1918. Okay, here we go. Yay. Ugh. Oh, but look, there's a chart for the Third Reich. Yeah. 12 years. Yeah, it was all under this one party. It dates from January 30th, 1933 when he was appointed the last Chancellor of the Weimar Republic. And okay, then there's a lot of discussion about when the chart would be, when it became official. That's not my point. Actually, it's worth pointing out that there is not a shred of evidence that Hitler had any interest in astrology at all. Hello, good Alfie. And I've read that people talk about, well, he was successful until he stopped listening to his astrologers. Well, from what I've been reading, he didn't actually ever like astrologers, but who knows? On the contrary, there's evidence he despised all popular superstitions, perhaps as a result of his great skill at using them to manipulate people. He did, he something about charts once, but I guess it didn't go well. And all right, so what are we looking at? I'm just going to have a quick look here for the outer planets. 21 Cancer. Pluto's 21 Cancer. Neptune, Mars, and Jupiter were relatively close together in Virgo. So those were trine. Yeah, not trine, sextile. Venus was up here in Capricorn. The Sun, this is when the third Reich was established. Sun, Saturn, and Mercury were all together from 4 to 10 degrees Aquarius. Early Aquarius. Like Pluto in Aquarius, that kind of thing. Not surprisingly, the moon's in Aries, which is Aries is the battlefield. And Uranus was also in Aries. Lovely. But that is interesting that outer planets, not all of them though, but a lot of the outer planets were an aspect to each other around 19, 20, 21, 22 degrees. All right, well, I'll have to do a bit more looking there and see what else I can find out. What is the latest economic union between East and West Germany took place 1st of July 1990. I was fortunate enough, I feel lucky, I was actually in the Netherlands when the Berlin Wall fell. And the British family I was living with, because my parents had come back to the States, I rented a room from them. And the father, the man of the house, he actually taught English at the German school. And he said that after the day the Berlin Wall fell, or the day after, because it happened really at night, that's Alfie. He wants to play. I'll go play with him in a minute. He said, he came home and I said, how was it at school today? Were people excited? Were they? And he said, it was the strangest thing. It's like all day, it was silent. It was the quietest I've ever seen the school. People were just stunned that the Berlin Wall had finally fallen. So, Innocent Potato says, Representative Jasmine Crockett is an Aries. We Aries women are warriors for justice. Oh, yeah. Please don't ever think I'm knocking the signs. There are high vibrations and low vibration versions of each sign. There are absolutely amazing Aries people. But anyway, so is this that's the economic unification. Political unification, 1990. I'm just wondering how this is going to because there's the EU to deal with now. This isn't just Germany. I'll have to have a look at the EU and look at their chart too and see how that's going. But anyway, Visualize Sony says, I can imagine that. Man. Gene Hall says, when the wall fell, we were in Munich. Oh, wow. Having dinner with German friends. Stunning. Yeah. Old Silver says EU and NATO. That's a point. Thank you. So, actually, I don't know if... Let's have a quick look. Because from all right, there's nothing jumping out. Maybe it's the back. My understanding, I could be wrong, but my understanding is they really should have talked to an astrologer, the EU. They really should have talked to an astrologer before they set up the EU. Like, it's not a great chart. Appendix. Reagan's inauguration, Thatcher's re-election, political parties, Labor Party, Liberal Party, The Foundation of Rome. This is a good book. European Union, haha. 1993. 420. Let's have a quick look. Which appendix is this? Appendix 4. That's 10. 3. Appendix 4. Economics, stock markets. Banks, trading blocks, European Union. All right, and there's some charts for the enlargement of the EU. So there are various versions of the European Union. Starting all the way back in 1958. All right, so that's not going to be helpful for me. So let's see. Is there anything here for NATO? And then I'll let you go. But let's see. European Union conflict. United States Defense Department. There's a chart for that. NATO. Aha. Appendix 5. 5. Military organizations, U.S. Defense Department, NATO came into being. NATO came into being as a result of the treaty signed on 4th of April, 1949. The horoscope for this date is highly descriptive, sometimes used as that for the creation of NATO itself. Oh, which it is definitely not? Huh. The organization actually came into being August 24th, 1949. Following the ratification of the treaty by France. Okay. President Truman signed the document. Okay, so it's a chart. It doesn't say much. I'm having a quick look to see if there's any like outer planets early in the signs, because or if there's much going on in the chart that's early in the signs, because all of this insane amount of energy that's going to hit us this summer is late spring, summer, is all these outer planets aspecting each other, but in the very, very early degrees of signs. I've looked at the US chart. At least it's not hitting like major stuff in the US chart. It's hitting my chart like a gong. Yay. Should be an interesting summer for me. I don't want to live in interesting times anymore. So, yeah, okay, that's not necessarily helpful. First World War, there's a chart for that. Start of World War II. Yay. Yeah, Pluto and Leo. The sign of kings. Digging up Pluto went into at the start of World War II, Pluto was in this second degree of Leo, so early on. So Pluto went into Leo and started digging up everything related to kings who are dictators. Let's look at everything related to dictators, authoritarians. Let's just dig it all up, so you have to deal with it. Yay. All right, in that case, let me have a quick look. And I'm sorry, I was going to leave, but hang on. Let's look at, I just want to look at the US quickly. Let me pull that chart up. Mexico, Peru, abdication of the czar. There's all kind of stuff in this. I'll have to put the link in the description because it's a good book. Ukraine, Uganda, United Arab Republic, United Kingdom. There's a lot about the UK, going all the way back to Roman invasions, Roman conquest, unification, United States, dun-da-da, page 348. Colonization and settlement, independence, First Continental Congress, Boston Tea Party, Declaration of War, 1775. All it says, when are the uninteresting times? Well, I don't know. It's all relative. We've been in less interesting times, less upheaval. Vote for independence. Evidence for what time of day. I'm a Sibley chart person myself. That's just I've just seen a lot of arguments back and forth, and it seems to the Sibley chart, it's called. Ebenezer Sibley, the astrologer who calculated the horoscope, was a Freemason, and in the 1780s was a member of the lodges, first in Portsmouth and then in Bristol. The first consulate in Britain was opened in Bristol. Here we go. Yep, that looks familiar. Right? US chart. Right there. Yep. There you got the sun over here in the 7th house. Yep. So I'm looking for anything that's like early in the signs, and the only thing I'm seeing here that's early in the signs, so would be most affected by all those outer planets and what they're doing, that we do have Venus and Jupiter in the 3rd and 5th degree of Cancer. We know Pluto was in late Capricorn because we had our Pluto return a few years ago. So that's still, it's sort of maybe with an orb. It might have some effect there. But things like Saturn's way up at 14 degrees. There are 30 degrees in each sign. Saturn's way up at 14. Neptune's up at 22 degrees. The sun's up at 13 degrees. Uranus is up at 8 degrees. So those aren't really affected by this big outer planet splash that's coming this summer, but we do have our Aquarius sun at 27 degrees. So that's close to the 30 where it switches over, because they're 30 degrees, but it goes 29 degrees, 0 degrees of the next sign. So it might pull our emotions into it. And in the US, our sun is in Cancer. That's the July 4th thing. My grandmother's birthday. I love her. Bless her. Anyway, but our moon is in Aquarius, which is where you get the ideals of equality that we have not always done a great job of living up to, but it's the idea of equality. So, yeah, emotionally, but a lot of this won't. Yeah. All right. Giovanna says, love this. History Channel, please. I was a history major, and this is fantastic. I'm glad you're finding it interesting. Excuse me. I've got an itch right there on my nose, right on the outside. So... just having a quick look to see if there's anything else. And signing the Declaration. Oh, Confederation. Yeah, by the way, the Confederates, yeah, the Confederation has a chart. Yay. And there's a chart for the federal government. So, and all right, and of course each state has its own chart. So I guess our emotions are going to get sucked into this huge thing that's happening this summer. But all we can do is be sensible. By the way, speaking of the Color Organization channel, I know I talk about it too much, but I probably will continue to, because I'm trying to help. I'm trying to not only sort myself out, but I'm trying to share to help you better organize and stay steady throughout changes and upheaval. But one of the things I'm doing is I am trying an experiment. I'm having to reorganize. I've got these sets of shelves, metal shelves that I bought and put up in the basement, in my little area of the basement. And right now they're mostly full of like empty boxes of things where I want to keep the box for when I move, but I certainly don't need it. It's things like the box for my microwave, the box for my, I have an oval, I have an unusual kitchen trash can. So it'll fit in this one particular area. I have very, very limited space. So I want to move those boxes out of there, put them in the attic, which I'm trying to clean out. And then I'll have freed up those shelves, and I'm even pulling some money out of my savings to buy in bulk some things. But I also need things to fit. So I've been measuring the shelves, and of the things I'm buying, I've been doing my best to measure the boxes. And then I'm using AI to do some of the math for me, because I want to fit as much as I can and make it as organized as possible. And obviously the mess we're in is going to go on for more than a year, but I'm really just trying to focus on, all right, what if I bought as much as I could to last me for a year? Because prices are likely to go up. There's inflation and disruption is what I'm also thinking there might be. So there are the bigger racks for the specific paper towels I use, because I don't use rolls. I've got a bamboo holder and these paper towels that you pull one at a time out of the bottom. But all kinds of, and plus there's the cat litter, and then there's, but there are these smaller racks where I keep food, non-perishable kind of stuff. So it's a project that I don't want to take on. I don't want to focus on it, but I figured if I'm going to do it, I may as well share. I may as well share how I'm setting it up. So I'm doing some recording on moving stuff around and doing the math and that kind of thing. Giovanna says, I wish I could help you. I am so organized. I am a freak. Oh, Giovanna, I knew I liked you. I have Saturn on my ascendant. I organize. I have to organize. Have to. Let me see. Cheryl says, are you going to buy plastic boxes? That's what I did. I have some bins. I have some plastic bins. Mostly the boxes are the boxes that the stuff comes in. I'm just going to use the cardboard boxes things come in for the most part. But I do have some bigger plastic bins. Actually, I have two that I use for my laundry, and then like clothes and towels and blankets, and then like I've got one that's full of Christmas stuff, and so I have a few. But Design Media FX says make sure you take cash out in case the banks are hacked. I should do something. I have a virtual bank, and I really don't keep cash here. I keep saying, don't break into my house. There's nothing here. And even setting this thing up in the basement, there's not, it's not like you can go sell the stuff for, there's no gold and cash and nothing like that here. So, having a quick look. And Sabine says, you seem to be extra, LOL. Yeah. This kid says, can you break down the appliance boxes so they can lay flat? Not usually, because they have the styrofoam inside that's formed to fit the appliances. And I don't want to lose that. So, because I'm not going to be here forever. Eventually I'll have to move out, and I want to have everything so I can just go plop, 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 ready to go. Kelly says, reminds me of my Virgo partner. Yeah. Oxford KT is saying, thank you so much. Listen to Andre, who is a wonderful astrologer. He is, and he's a very, very nice man. He says, we are in the same planetary situation as the Civil War and French Revolution. Thank you for your extra time. There are definitely some parallels, but the outer planets are also making good aspects as opposed to all, more negative, more irritating. So, Hope says, do you do individual astrology readings? Do you do astrocartography? No, I'm just starting to get into astrocartography, but I've been really focusing. It's taken me years to pull this thing together, but I believe it or not, I know I keep saying it, but astrographics, the astrology course, it is moving to, I'm hoping this summer, to get that out there. So it's there are a lot of obviously astrographics. There are a lot of graphics involved. There's a lot of explaining different things and breaking things down into a memorable way, especially for visual learners or people who could use some mnemonic devices, a lot of mnemonic devices. But yeah. Grace says, I'm in the same situation. I need to clear the shelves in my garage to store dry goods, so I can store dry goods so I can make room for growing plants. Ooh, yeah, I asked my parents if they've ever grown vegetables here, because they haven't in the time I've been living here. And apparently, yes, behind this one garage area right here, apparently they had grown some tomatoes and cucumbers along there. So I'm gonna have to go have a look at that. Because the price of green peppers is insane. It's $2 per green pepper. And that adds up, especially when you make a lot of red beans and rice and, cooking at home a lot more. So tomatoes, it's always good to have, tomatoes and stuff, but definitely green peppers. Anyway. Design Media FX I was talking about buying a bidet. Words elude me. Bidet. The problem I have, I don't have an electric plug anywhere near my toilet. Nowhere. I mean, I can't even be like, oh, I'll just run it around the corner no, there's nothing. There's one like way over there, and there's one like across the hall. And So, Innocent Potato says you can grow veggies in containers. True. And Jean Hall says, suggestion, store dry goods in metal tins, harder for rats and mice to chew through. Good thought. Kelly says, I had a bumper crop of peppers, but my cucumbers were a bust. Oh, okay. FX says, yes, there is a lid type. Oh yeah, but you need electricity. So anyway, all right. Well, thank you for the extra time. Thank you for hanging out. So let us move forward. Let us be productive. And I need to do post-production. I was really busy yesterday. I didn't put the new cover on the live stream yesterday, so it just had the original cover, and the views are always down when I don't put the cover in that shows like actual like me and Sarah. Yeah, and the numbers on the channel are down quite a bit. So I'm gonna keep showing up. I'm gonna keep doing the thing and be sensible, do anything I can to help you, and get this astrology course done. So as my income tends to over here and it's not doing very well, hopefully I'll find other sources, because I'm just going to keep showing up. So, all right. Thank you. All right. Well, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. In, oh gosh, like an hour and 10 minutes, I'll be over on the Creative Sprints channel. You're always welcome. And thank you, DL. Of course, sounds good. Oh, good. I hope so. Mr. Potatoes says all tarot readers are having those issues. They need to join together. Well, I think there are people who are really disheartened by us all thinking that Harris is going to win. But I've never pretended that anybody who does this is 100% accurate. It's not. I was reading on the collective energy, and that was the collective energy. But I honestly do believe it was Pluto that came in and just went sweep, just knocked everything over. Thanks, Pluto. Took our collective energy and just went whoosh. So, but we're good. Yeah, Design Media FX, we're going to be okay. We'll get through this. We'll get through this. All right. Hang in there. All right. And I will see you later. All right. Thank you. Bye.